Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
It sounded like you said BumbleKast. I don't know if you did.
It's entirely possible.
I don't know if you did, but it sounded kind of like it. I don't know. Maybe we could be both. We could be both the BumbleKast and the BubbleKast.
The BubbleKast is yet to burst. The prime rates are still locked in. We're good for now.
Yep. It's true. It's true. 0% interest right here, baby. 0% interest. Nobody is interested.
Lies. We have almost 2,000 subscribers.
I know. How weird is that? 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is insane. Almost 2,000 subscribers. And then I think almost 1,000 on the podcast version. So, man, you guys like the show apparently. I think you just like Sonic. I think that's the secret. The secret is you like Sonic. But that's okay.
And we don't really do the call to action because it's really obnoxious. But I'm going to do it here because I like nice round numbers. It bugs me that we aren't at 2,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please just click the button and then, I don't know, hide notifications or whatever. I don't care. But just get us that nice round number. If we can get to 2,000, I'll be happy.
Yeah, you do not have to click the bell if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want. We're not your parents. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But, you know, it'd be nice. It would be cool. It'd be cool.
A little feather in the cap. Little bragging rights.
Sure.
Also, happy Thanksgiving to any Canucks listening to this on the debut day. I hope you're enjoying family and friends and food to the absolute limit of decency. And even a little bit further if you want. It's Thanksgiving. It doesn't count.
Yeah. Wow. Thanksgiving. So weird. So weird. We talk about this every year, that Thanksgiving in Canada is in October. And it's still kind of weird.
It also cracks me up because all my American friends who don't know this already,
they get confused.
They first are a little confused, and then there's this kind of mysticism. It's like, oh, do they do things differently? And it's always so tempting to go, oh yeah, we go out and we hunt the ceremonial moose. Whoever gets the first shot gets to wear the antlers during the whole meal. I was like, no, it's the same thing. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's just we have a shorter growing period up here, so we have the harvest earlier.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
But it's like it's even the meal's the same. So
pretty much, yeah. And second Monday in October is no weirder than fourth Thursday in November.
It's just as arbitrary.
Yeah.
Just as random, just as arbitrary, but just as delicious.
It's still a little weird to me to do Thanksgiving before Halloween and then have nothing in November.
I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah, it kind of gives you November to just chill out before Christmas kind of runs up and punches you in the face. It's a holiday now.
Except Christmas ran up and punched us in the face like a month ago.
Yeah, I know.
In a lot of places. It's like, come on.
Christmas in July will be a legit thing in our lifetime, I'm sure.
Christmas has overtaken the entire calendar, really. Like it's gonna be there. It's almost there, and it's gonna get there. Yeah. I'm receiving word that they're already setting Christmas Monday at Home Depot. Yes.
Personally, I find this cause for alarm.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well, now that I've lost a subscriber, should we get to the priority Q&A?
Lost one subscriber? Yeah, probably. That's okay. Yeah, let's just get to the Q&A. Forget it. You guys know how to ask the questions, right? You can scroll down to the description if you don't. So we're not going to worry about any of that. Let's just jump right in to the priority Q&A with this one from Speedweed. The Metroid cosplaying Samus, Dark Samus versus the X-Parasite cosplaying Samus, and the saxophone, aka the SAX from Metroid Fusion. Who would win in a fight against each other?
I'm gonna say SAX because SAX is basically Samus at her maximum,
Yeah.
and we know that Samus at her maximum can beat Dark Samus.
Yep.
Now, on the other hand, it's been a while since I went through the Prime trilogy, but Samus was pretty heavily Phazon corrupted when she finished off Dark Samus, so maybe that's kind of the variable.
Hmm.
But in the end, Dark Samus lost to Samus, and since SAX is essentially Samus, I'm going to have to give this one to SAX.
Yeah, probably. I mean, SAX is like the scariest. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right, here's one from Dove. Whisper called the Diamond Cutters an anti-Eggman mercenary team that took the most dangerous missions. If they were mercenaries, they were hired soldiers. So who hired them? And if they were actually affiliated with the Resistance, who did they get assignments from?
Excellent questions. This next one comes from PC the Unicorn.
They're mercenaries in the same way that the Chaotix are detectives who are never hired by anybody.
More in the same way that Infinite and his crew were bounty hunters.
Oh, right. Yeah, bounty hunter means, like Samus bounty hunter. They don't actually hunt bounties. It's just a cool title.
But to be perfectly honest, I hadn't put a great deal of backstory thought into who would be hiring them and where they get their missions from and such, because that wasn't really important to the story.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to return to the Eggman War, and the Diamond Cutters are gone. So we don't really have a need to go back and explore that further. So giving that little bit of detail to just contextualize them, I figured was enough. Is that the most airtight, concrete bit of plotting? No. But it's also not really needed for what the story's doing. Maybe at some other point, things will shift and we would get the opportunity to explore that more, and that's some fertile ground to seed and till and tend to. But for now, throw your own fanon in there. Your headcanon is just as valid as anything else. Write your fanfics. Have fun with it. Go nuts.
Yeah. It's the definition of a mercenary team, as in they're just independent soldiers, not necessarily hired soldiers. We'll go with that.
What's funny too is if we went back 15 years and I said that to my younger self,
your younger self would freak out and be like, "What are you talking about? What are you doing?
Take me to task." Burn me to the ground. What kind of slipshod laziness is that? It's like, child, you need to understand there are priorities.
You need to understand this whole thing is a mess, man. This whole thing is a mess. Just when you get to
sand,
and then when you
about it.
And then when you'll be like, when you get to my point, you'll be so tired you won't even care.
I do. Is you have to realize where the effort needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely get it for people who want a more concrete explanation or more detail, but at the same time, it's like, say they were hired by the Resistance. That's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good explanation right there. Why not? I don't know. Just,
I mean, the Resistance wasn't a fully fleshed out idea either, so
no. What do you mean? No, nothing in Sonic is ever not fully fleshed out or not explained well. Come on. What? This is a franchise with a history of impervious canon. Absolutely just 100% like so tight. The canon is so tight. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I was going to say, you're getting to lethal levels of sarcasm there.
I can't do it. I can't keep going. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But what I can do is ask you this question from PC the Unicorn. Is there a reason why we haven't seen any characters in the IDW series merge with wisps like Sonic did in Colors? And is Sonic the only one allowed to merge with wisps?
I personally haven't pushed that envelope because it wasn't a battle I wanted to fight at any particular time. There hasn't been an instance where I'm like, we really need to see one of the characters use a wisp and be super cool with it. I would like to see something like that, and the canon I have been given seems to imply that should be possible. But I'm also kind of expecting it to be one of those things where it's like, no, only Sonic gets to do it. But I haven't been told that directly. So I could be wrong. I have been surprised multiple times by what has been rendered okay. So I don't know. That is still an idea on the table that we can come to at some point.
All right, here's a question from Sonic. Hey, when I asked about the no political system and who runs the towns and cities in Sonic's world, you said they were run by volunteers, but how do these volunteers run the city? Do they take the general population's opinions into consideration? What would happen if the general population did not agree with their decision, but they went through with it anyway? What kind of people would be so trusted that a city would just go along with their decisions when they have no authority?
Yeah, I didn't say that as definitive canon. I said, given what little information we've been presented with, you could speculate that's how it's supposed to be. But as you've pointed out, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, I wasn't saying, yes, this is how their societies work. I'm saying that was just kind of spitballing. So you're right. It doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. And we have no actual answer.
Yes. Here's one from Alphamon or Yukon. According to an unused Omochao clip, Dr. Eggman's mustache is fake. Do you believe these rumors? How do you think Eggman himself would react to such an accusation?
These are clearly lies and slander set out by Sonic and the rest of his little terrorist buddies.
Yes.
They're besmirching both his good name and his good facial grooming. The fact that, Omochao chose to disclose this information, even though it was clearly cut for being incendiary fake news, is just appalling. We need to talk to Omochao's manager. We should probably sue.
Mm-hmm.
And I am 100% behind Eggman on this one. I don't think that his tactical nuke option is perhaps the most balanced way of responding, but I do understand it.
Yeah, pretty much. I get it. That's why we haven't seen Omochao for a while, I think. Mm-hmm. Here's this one from Jib. Is Knuckles still waiting for Sonic to come back? Considering he was looking up the night sky, continuously waiting for his return. that would be very funny. Like, he's like, is Sonic back yet? It's been a while.
Thirsty. Legs hurt. Neck stuck in this position.
He's still waiting to this day.
Sonic shows up because some other crisis is like, oh, there you are. At last I knew you'd come back. What do you mean you've been back, you jerk? Now, I figured they sent word to him. He knows.
Oh, darn. Hey, Knuckles. Okay, good. at least someone at the Resistance was thinking about him. All right, here's a question from Scruffy Bat. Having recently completed my Mario-thon and successfully avoided pulling my hair out in frustration, I'm wondering which collectibles mission in a Mario game frustrates you the most. There's so many to choose from. The pachinko machine from Mario Sunshine, the ball rolling one from Mario Galaxy's Rolling Gizmo Galaxy, the jump rope one from New Donk City. So evil.
Truth be told, I got a tension headache just trying to get through Bomb Battlefield when Mario 64 first came out.
Well, I mean, it was kind of that was kind of a mind-blowing experience at the time. It was new. We were kind of like, what? It was a little overwhelming.
It took me, my brother, and my dad at least a year working together to get 120 stars on one file.
Uh-huh.
And that was a concentrated effort between all of us. And that kind of cured me of ever wanting to do something like that again. So I honestly haven't played a 3D Mario in earnest since then.
Hmm.
I do remember renting Sunshine when it came out and just hating it. So I my most difficult collectathon is the Mario series in 3D. I am bad at Mario games, and I fully acknowledge that. It is a weakness of mine. So, yeah, there you go.
Well, the good news is that you can cheat the jump rope one from New Donk City, so that one's not too bad. As long as
I heard
you,
they patched that out,
as long
though.
as you know the exploit. There's another one, and that
Okay.
one has not been fixed, and probably never will be because it's like 3 years old. So, yeah, it's been around. That one's been around for a while. That's how I did it because I just did I did 100% one run of Odyssey recently. And yeah, I was not doing the jump rope one. Screw that. Not the one for 100 jumps at least. Holy crap, that is insane. So, and then the beach ball one, the volleyball one, beach volleyball, that one is hard, but you can kind of cheese that one too by using 2-player mode and using Cappy instead of Mario. Because Cappy controls way more precisely than Mario does, so it's a lot easier with Cappy. So that one's not too bad if you use that little trick. Otherwise, yeah, it's kind of annoying. The pachinko machine one from Sunshine is a nightmare. It's like, oh boy, it's bad. It's bad. It's real bad. Also what is it? That's like I can't remember exactly what it is. It's like a sand phoenix thing that you're flying on in Sunshine. That's kind of a nightmare. I mean, Sunshine in general just kind of has some weird design choices that aren't their best. Yeah, like a lot of the ones without flood, where flood gets stolen and you're going through the obstacle courses. That is does kind of suck. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, I can't think of any in Mario 64 that were especially difficult comparatively. I was trying to think of it, but I don't know. I can't think of one really that's super hard. They actually kept it. I think they kept most of the stars fairly simple because it was kind of the first time they'd ever done 3D Mario, so they didn't really get too crazy, except maybe like Rainbow Ride. Rainbow Ride in general just kind of was like, yeah, yeah. I think they were running out of ideas by that point in the game, and we're like, I don't know, screw it, just throw them in the clouds. Who cares? Make them wait around forever. Yeah. Not my favorite. Not my favorite levels. And they were just reusing music at that point too, yeah. It was not the best. Not the best. That's kind of the thing. Mario 64 is front loaded with all the good stuff. Then you get further in and it becomes less good, which is still a good game, but they definitely put all the good stuff up front. Should have spread it out a little more, Nintendo. Should have done it different. Oh well. Here's one from Off. Way back in IDW, when Tangle visited Sonic and Tails in the early stages of the Metal Virus arc, she rode over on a bicycle, but that bicycle seems to be rather oversized for her. Other vehicles, such as Amy's car during the Chow Race arc, seem to be tailor-made to suit Mobian non-human sizes. Is there any reason why Tangle rides a human-sized bike in a world where there supposedly aren't any humans? Why aren't you telling us, Ian? Reveal your secrets. I need to know!
I can't help you. I didn't think it looked that big. It looked like a bike to me.
I didn't think so either. I thought it looked
I
fairly...
honestly don't know what to tell you because it looks perfectly fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, she's not on the seat, but whatever. That's fine. She's not, like, extremely stretched out. And that's kind of her power anyways, to stretch out, so, whatever.
On that illuminating note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more priority Q&A.
Yes, that's our best answer ever. And we're back with a question from X. In the game he's in, Dr. Eggman Nega is shown to be a bit more unhinged and radical than regular Doc. With him being more willing to go further to achieve his goals, how would Starline react to seeing his idol's distant descendant?
I think Starline would be more preoccupied with the lineage.
Starline would just be confused. Like, how is he exactly? How does he look exactly the same and almost act and sound exactly the same, except a little crazier?
Like, I think he would lose the forest for the trees and want to understand what he is.
Yeah.
More than anything else. Like, you could ask him, what do you think about his policies? His modus operandi? And it's like, yeah, we'll get to that later. But the important thing is how far down, how many generations? Who are his forebears? Where did it come into line? And so on and so forth. And it'd be like, okay, fanboy, just chill out. Also, fun note, he's not a doctor, apparently.
Oh, he's just Eggman Nega, but he's not a doctor?
I could have sworn he was a doctor, but I got a note back on a project saying he doesn't have the title. And looking at some of the material, it's like, yeah, I couldn't find them actually saying doctor. Now, there may be a particular line from Eggman himself that calls him a doctor that I overlooked or couldn't find, which, just underlines how consistent things can be in the franchise. But yeah, he actually isn't a doctor.
Well, to be fair, is Eggman actually a doctor, or did he just get his doctorate from online school?
I don't know. What a funny question, Omo Chow. What are you trying to imply? First, it's a fake mustache. Now you're saying the doctorate is fake?
Yeah, probably is.
I got to you. Stop reading fake Eggman news off of Facebook.
But Eggman runs Facebook.
No, he runs the face ship.
No. Okay, Eggman built the robot that runs Facebook.
Oh, okay. That would explain why it doesn't work so well.
Yeah, that would explain why he also looks like a freaking robot. Looks and acts like a robot. Zuck. Anyway, Pan Dolce is here with a question. I've been collaborating on fan projects that involve scripting and comic creation, so I've seen various styles of scripting, and it made me curious about something. When you write the scripts for IDW, do you specify the content of each panel and how many the artist should draw for each page? Or do you leave the paneling of the story up to the artist?
I go as much detail as possible without making it a brick to read. So it's always, page 1, panel 1. It's this size with this location, these characters in this staging doing and saying this. Panel 2, etc., etc., etc. If you head over to bumbleking.com, I actually have a manuscript sample up if anyone wants to download it and see how I do things and use that as practice material or whatever.
Nice. And here we are with a question from Noni. Hey, whatever happened with Super Duck?
I don't know. Like, COVID threw things off. I know that much. But after that, I don't know what happened. Huh. I really don't.
Did you write it?
Frank Thierry and I wrote... Oh, shoot. Issue 2 was scripted, and I believe issue 3 was plotted out. I can't remember if it was a 3 or a 4-parter, but the whole arc had been plotted out, and I think 3 was ready to go to script, and then everything, fell apart because of the pandemic. And it never got up again, so I don't know.
Apparently it was supposed to be 4 parts.
Okay. It's been so long since I worked on it. I don't even remember. Which is too bad because the art team was doing fantastic work. Ryan Jampol can make everything look fantastic. So, and Frank was a pleasure to work with. But I think he's still doing horror stuff for Archie, so that's still going as far as I know. But yeah, Super Duck, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Ryan Jampol could draw like a square and it would look good.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good he is. You draw a real good looking square. Here's a question from Scurvy Pirate Hog. With the IDW Sonic books, one thing I love are all of the amazing and great characters the series has introduced, like Tangle and Whisper, or villains like Starline and Mimic. I also love how the series integrates them as part of the supporting cast, or Rogues Gallery, with the different miniseries getting to focus on them, while also not taking the focus away from the main characters or the overall plot of the main series. But lately, there's one thing I've been pondering about. How the series has done it with Belle the Tinkerer. Ever since she was introduced, each arc has in some way tied to her story, and judging from solicitations, that seems to be the case for the Trial by Fire arc. And I've been wondering just why Belle has gotten so much focus in the main series in comparison to how the series has handled characters like Tangle, Jewel, and Whisper. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but I'm curious. Is it because Belle isn't popular enough to get her own miniseries, or is it some other reason? What do you think?
I think that's more a question for Evan Stanley.
Yes.
Because she created Belle, she plotted out that stuff. It would be more in her wheelhouse to get into her thinking behind it, because while we coordinated on the plans for the year, I wasn't on board for every little decision she made. I've been kind of out of the loop production wise, as she's been main writer. My arc was fairly self-contained, and it was more of a wrap things up kind of thing. So I wasn't really involved in the in-depth creative process there. So that would be a question to take to her. One thing to consider is that Tangle and Whisper's mini was a surprise to me. It was not something I planned on, and that was built off of fan demand. So that was kind of a nice gift to me in terms of having narrative control. And its success is what gave us Bad Guys, which again, I wasn't banking on and was a nice thing to have. And with Imposter Syndrome coming up, that is again a space to build Surgeon Kit in a way that doesn't bog down the main storyline. So Evan hasn't had any other opportunities to build up Belle. She doesn't get mini series like I did.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a contributing factor. But I do not want to speak for her or speculate on her creative process, because I'm not her. That would be mean. Kind of presumptuous on my part.
Mm. How dare you presume anything, Ian? Presuming. Couldn't you presume that I'm going to ask you this next question?
I hope you will.
Well, you'd be correct.
I dare you to.
Well, you'd be correct. Here's a question from Digama. So we know you're at least somewhat familiar with the works of Genndy Tartakovsky, since you talked about Season 5 of Samurai Jack a few times on the show way back when that was happening. But what about his other projects? What are your experiences or thoughts on Dexter's Lab, the Clone Wars series he did, Symbionic Titan, which wasn't created by him solo, but was co-created by him and two other guys, a pre-Mickey Mouse Shorts Paul Rudish, and a pre-What If Brian Andrews, the Hotel Transylvania films, and Primal.
All right, so Dexter's Lab, especially early Dexter's Lab, is just an absolute delight. And like a masterclass in how to do homage to anime and other influences where you're celebrating them without mocking them. And there's been a lot of other shows that have done that very wrong. That and not Super Friends. What were they called? Justice Buddies, or the Avengers spoofs were just friggin' like Van Halen as the god of rock. That alone is money in the bank.
That's perfect. Yes.
Like when they're doing the crossover with Dial M for Monkey, and they have Macho Man Randy Savage voicing Rasslor.
Yeah.
That entire episode is just gold.
Well, I mean, that's
fighting...
Macho Man for you. He's gold, so it makes sense.
But you come up against this guy in armor, And you notice that the little thing on the front of his helmet is kind of weird looking. He's like, I am Sam. Ooh, I. And it's like, oh my God. This character, his introduction is entirely for this one joke. Why do you kick your legs so high? I do not like you, samurai. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. This is the pinnacle of human achievement right here. Rose tinted glasses, and kids today don't know how good we had it, blah blah blah. But I think there was something special. Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab, and that era was just chef kiss, amazing.
Yep.
I didn't see Symbiotic Titan when it came out, and I did try to catch up on it a bit, but it just wasn't clicking with me. Something about it didn't jive. Maybe it's something you have to see all together to really appreciate. But I was having a hard time getting into it. The Clone Wars shorts have not aged as well as I thought. Part of it was just the splendor at the time and how much better they were than the actual movies. But the pacing of some of the fights and the use of sound and lighting and the decompression and the minimalism of them are just exquisite in terms of an art form. Like the bit where Anakin and Asajj are facing off against each other and the rain starts and it starts to boil on the lightsabers as they stare each other down. Just gives me chills. When Anakin loses it and momentarily dips into the dark side to overpower Asajj, and with each strike you see this forlorn flash of each of his mentors kind of from a distance being sad at how he's falling. It's like, oh, it's good stuff. Grievous. When they introduced freaking Grievous, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be so amazing in the movie. He's so great in this one extra long episode. Extra long being 3 freaking minutes long. And then the movie was just... I haven't seen Hotel Transylvania, any of the films all the way through, but I have seen bits and pieces, and I feel like the first one especially really highlights that ability he has to use shape and staging to set the mood, and his appreciation and timing on physical comedy just is freaking gorgeous. Which makes me sad that I really didn't like Primal, what little I saw of it. It felt... I know I'm this is heresy, all right? I acknowledge that. But it felt kind of try hard. Like, I get to do my adult cartoon now. So here's all the blood and all the violence. And the moment where I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but the tragic origin for the caveman guy, there's one moment that's supposed to be horrifying, and I busted out laughing because of how cartoonish it was, how silly the staging was. I can see what the point was, where the horror was supposed to be, but it was like Charlie Brown getting hit by a baseball and knocked over on the pitcher's mound. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be heartbreaking and like gut wrenching, and I'm sitting here going, So, and like inconsistencies with injuries from shot to shot and the terrain changing volume and dimensions to dictate what the action needs. I don't know. It was maybe later episodes are more solid. And if it's your cup of tea, I'm glad you enjoy it. By all means, don't let me ruin your fun for you. But I was hyped. Here's Genndy's next project, and I'm like, not wild about it. Not wild about it.
The only ones I'm really familiar with are Samurai Jack, a little bit of Dexter's Lab, and Hotel Transylvania, the first movie, which I actually really liked and was kind of surprised because it's an Adam Sandler vehicle, and a modern Adam Sandler vehicle especially is usually just an excuse for him and his friends to go on vacation for free. And they're not usually all that good. But I was really kind of surprised at how well he handled that character, and just overall how surprisingly good that movie was. So it helped that it was animated. So, yeah, I like that. I like that movie a lot, but I can't remember like specific details about it so much. So, but I liked it. So I guess there's that. Still haven't seen any of the sequels though. All right, let's get into our next question here from Andrew D. Will we ever get a Lost Hedgehog Tales equivalent for Archie Mega Man?
Maybe. I mean, it'd certainly be a shorter document because a lot of it is the games.
Yeah.
I mean, how they would be stitched together, I guess, is the aspect of it. But I don't know. There's some foolish part of me still holding out hope that torch might get picked back up. But I don't know. We'll see. That's a maybe.
Yeah. All right, here's a question from the Hobo Joe. With how much you've been asked about potential crossovers, it got me down a rabbit hole of what the IDW team even looks like, at least formally. I don't think there's an office, and guess it's mostly digital. I'd imagine you've been to HQ somewhere since you had dinner with the editors when pitching Metal Virus. You've also worked on a couple of Turtles books, but I don't think you've ever mentioned meeting Kevin Eastman or Tom Waltz, or Stan Sakai. Were anything to happen, the conversation would start there, but it might be an editor thing, a la J. Jonah Jameson. We want Sonic meets G.I. Joe. What you got? Then I remembered Natalie Fondrain. I don't know if that's spelled right, is it? It might be. I might just be my pronunciation is bad. Anyway, someone new to Sonic when IDW launched and has such a banger style for Sonic. Yet, she's only ever been a cover artist. And I don't think you've mentioned meeting her or vice versa or her work. I think what I'm trying to ask is, what does working at IDW look like? Is there a mystical office clouded by fog, orchestrated Genesis tracks from the heavens, loop-de-loops, and story walls for Knuckles' next tale? Are there any interactions with other creative teams, if only friendly chit-chat? Or is it all just virtual, with emails for the artists of an issue and the editors? I know that's a lot, but I'm guessing it all ties into the limits of being freelance and how comics work.
I haven't been to the IDW home offices. I would like to one day, but I haven't ever had the opportunity to do so. Everyone that I've met was because we were all in the same convention space, and any kind of dinners there were like, all right, show's done. You want to grab something to eat type of thing. I have met, I was going to say most of it, but actually time has marched on and there's been so many new talents to come on. Feeling kind of old and behind the times here, but like I met most everyone from the old Archie Guard, but not everyone, and that goes especially true for the IDW crew. And it's 99% freelance, as far as I know. There is a home office, and up until COVID, that's where your editors and I believe legal and your financial and corporate head and such, that's where they would be. But I don't know if they had any in-house talent, because like way back in the day, I know that Patrick Spaziante would do work in the Archie offices, but that was their way they ran things, and that was his particular deal. I don't know about anybody else, and that's just speaking like Sonic terms. I have no idea about any of the other licenses that they do, if they have any in-house artists there either. But yeah, it's pretty much all email and video conference, and God, I haven't had a phone call in ages because everyone just does video conferences now.
Yeah.
There is a private Discord for the Sonic creatives to discuss stuff and help each other out and critique and share notes and brainstorm and such. No, I'm not going to give any kind of hints of where it is. You're not supposed to be in there. It is a workplace. So, yeah.
Discord for work? What is this?
Yeah.
Modern?
Of course. You can't get in there unless invited anyway, so, but still.
Pretty much.
And now for the conspiracy videos to show up. Secret cabal of Discord users for IDW. So, yeah, it's a work channel.
Secret cabal of IDW writers and artists and editors. Yeah,
no. Professionals get together and work.
No crap, of course. Secret Cabal. It's not secret. They're listed in every issue.
But yeah, it's like everything is for any kind of like deals and such, like crossovers and whatnot. That's all handled by the editors and the legal teams and the licensors. If any kind of thing comes down the pike, it's I'm invited into it. Like with the My Little Pony Transformer crossover stuff, which is still just I can't believe that happened twice. It was, hey, we're doing this project. Would you like to pitch some ideas for it? It's like, yeah, cool. But I don't get to go and say, hey, I want this to happen. Or, I can say to an editor, yo, if you ever do a Sonic Ninja Turtles crossover, please keep me in mind. I would love to contribute. But that's more of a, here I am, please remember me sort of thing. It's not a pitch of, here, this is what we're doing, or this is what I want to do. Because I don't think that can happen.
The IDW offices are wherever an IDW person is currently working.
Yeah, everyone I think is still working from home for COVID stuff, but there was at one point a home office. I don't know who works there right now, or if anyone does.
And where is IDW's home office? Do you even know offhand? I can't. I don't even remember.
I think it's like Burbank.
Is it California? Okay.
Yeah, it's in California. I just don't remember.
Because Archie was like New York or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still New York.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. San Diego is what I'm receiving word.
San Diego? Okay.
Which is actually kind of convenient. It's convenient for them. Makes sense.
I know diddly squat about California aside from it's always on fire and one day it's just going to fall off into the ocean and most of the work is out there. So
and California is big. It's big. It's big. It's big. Very big.
Went out there for a wedding once and just driving out that way and it's like, wow, going down the hill you could see the highway just weave through like openness and then suddenly civilization. Like, this is really pretty. Also, why is this only 2 lanes?
Yeah. Oh, we've done the San Diego to Riverside Drive a couple times. That was that's actually not a bad drive, surprisingly. So
at one time we came out to visit you, we went somewhere, but see, whenever I'm in a car ride, if I'm driving, I'm fine. If I'm in the passenger seat,
you fall asleep. Yeah, I know.
I fall asleep, dude.
Yeah, I know.
The ultimate white noise machine. I wanted to stay awake. I wanted to talk to everybody and see the scenery because I've never been out that way. And it's like, yeah, here we go.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you. I would have slept if I could too, but I was driving, so. Yes. California is big. There's a lot going on there. And simultaneously a lot of nothing going on there at the same time. It's weird. And finally, our last question comes from Wolfsbane, and it was requested for me to read this in a certain fashion, so I will try and do so now. But I need to move away. Greetings, thy rulers of the Bumble Realm. I come with an inquiry. Were thy cast of the comic realm were to frequent thy fair of the medieval or Renaissance times, what shall thy characters do?
To be clear, they haven't been transported to a medieval time. They're just going to the Ren Fair.
Okay. Right? That's what it seems like.
I believe that is the spirit of the question.
I believe so.
All right, so Tails is into it.
Of course.
He's total Ren Fair. Amy gets in on it too. It's fun.
Sonic plays along with it just to make Tails and Amy happy, probably.
Yeah, he's there because he wants them to be happy, but he really has no particular interest.
Yep.
Until Eggman gets involved.
No, well, yeah.
And then Eggman goes full on Black Knight. He's going to conquer the Ren Fair and steal the Maiden Fair and all of this just to ruin everyone's day. Specifically to goad Sonic into rising to the occasion. And that's when Sonic plays along, goes full Night of the Wind, and it becomes yay old good time for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Knuckles would be very confused how he time traveled, but he's just going to work with it.
Why is that so funny? I don't know why that's so funny.
And Cream is 100% into it.
Oh yeah.
Rouge is delighted. She's not going to get in on the act, but there's like zero security here, so she makes off like a bandit.
Yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah, there's all sorts of shinies everywhere. Yep.
Yeah, all these hand-fashioned pieces of jewelry. She'll have to come back for seconds.
And thirds and fourths.
I mean, there's no Eggman robots in yay old Ren Fair, so Omega's just going to wait in the car.
Aww. Poor Omega.
Sonic starts getting into the act after trouncing Eggman. That's how Shadow learns that Sonic is showing off again, so he decides to put him in his place. Return of the Black Knight there.
Yep.
Silver's with Knuckles. He's equally confused. He didn't think he went that far back in time. Blaze doesn't have the heart to correct either of them, so she's kind of just going in on it with the rest of them.
What about the IDW crew?
Whisper's totally into it, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure.
Oh yeah.
It's not something she would fully or freely admit to. She'd kind of sneak in on her own and then try not to be discovered because she doesn't want to be found out and be embarrassed by it.
And then
not
immediately
that, like,
Tangle shows up.
Yeah, of course. Tangle kind of misses the forest for the trees. She tries to get on the act, but she swings a little too hard into the these and thys and thous and just needs to tone it down a little bit. You know, maybe stick to just one glass of mead there, kiddo. Don't go too crazy. Starline is the evil herald for Eggman, obviously.
Well, yeah, of course.
He's the worm tongue to the Saruman. And oh man, he is at that 110%.
I was gonna say this is his wheelhouse.
Halt, foul villains, for you now bask in the radiant glory that is my lord doth Eggmaneth. What are you saying? I'm just trying to get to the answer. Whatever. Go on. This is your moment.
Does he have the puffy pants? That's what I'm being asked now. He's got to have
Absolutely.
the puffy pants.
You thought his sleeves were puffy now? Good lord. Little hat with a big old feather out of it, whatever the proper term for that is.
Yep.
He still has the glasses, but they have been reforged in period appropriateness.
Yes.
With the glass and metalwork that they could achieve at the time. He is in this 100%.
Oh yeah. What about Jewel?
Jewel is kind of their sightseeing. She's entertained. You know, it's fun to be with everybody else. It's not really her thing, but you know, she'll tag along. The costumes are nice.
And then the chaotics. Charmy loves it, probably. You know, he gets into it.
The chaotics are searching high and low for a lost piece of equipment that somebody had misplaced, and it isn't until the end of the day they realize that they've been conned into looking for the one ring. And it's not even like the real one ring. Somebody just spoofed it to waste their day. But you know what? Charmy had fun in the end, so I guess it's not a total loss.
And the Freedom Fighters, if they were there,
oh Lord,
we're going into this one hard, man.
Sally's into it, a little self-conscious as well, but she gets over herself and she's having fun. Nicole gets a little hung up on the anachronisms, but eventually learns, okay, time to just roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Rotor, it's not his wheelhouse. I mean, he understands the appeal of like the forge and the blacksmithing and kind of the history of machines of the era, but it's not really his thing. Bunny's kind of in the same position as Jewel and Sonic. You know, she'll go because everybody else is having fun. Wouldn't be her first stop, but hey, whatever. Everyone is having a good time, and she'll have a good time with them having a good time. Antoine is 100% into it. And, you know, he's really get into his own ancestry of the time period. And If anyone were to disparage his honor, he would challenge them into a duel.
Sacre bleu.
Not a real duel, of course. That would be obscene. Just a little duel, a little slap with the glove. We draw our sabers and wave them around a little bit. Sonic, put the sword down. I was not being serious. Sonic, put the sword down. Sonic, put the sword down.
I don't know. That broke me for some reason. Someone asks him why a Frenchman is in Mobius. He proceeds to insult their mother, who is a hamster, and their father, who smells of elderberries.
Now go away, you fool, or I shall taunt you a second time.
It's good. That's good stuff. That's the good stuff right there. But like all good things, it must come to an end. And we are at the end of this episode of the BumbleKast.
Before we wrap it up, we're going to give a big thank you to everyone who continues to make this show possible, either through patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or being a member on our YouTube channel. A big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Justin G., Mike B., Bradley TT, Coupling Crew 128, Duas Disden, Diane W., Andrew D., Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Sony, Salute Your Cat, Dave M., John M., Off, Noni, Don B., Yami M., Sin Fritz, Lee H.K., Lisa M., J. Frost, Chevelle, Jib, Hero of Light 13, Piggy Bank, Blue Title Gamer, Ryan D., Tick Tick, Speedweed, Final Meal, Justin S., Jonathan D., Rachel W., Godzilla, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Dabbler the Dalek, Daniel B., Sonic, PC the Unicorn, Ben Wolfsbane, Dove, Red the Super Namek, Pan Dolce, Invade Turbo Tunis, Joe S., Preston M., Carlos, Jennifer H., Chad, Alpha or Yukin, Michael, Chico D., Renard Pixel, Les, Chase L., Owen BD, Fire Red XY, John the Real Waluigi, Noah S., Sapphire Scarletta, Spark Z, Turbo Crooker, Lexi Loves Jojo, Kojiro Highwind, Michi, Louis J., Zandaroni the Painter, Kimiko, Callum Q, Rad Ray, Avalwolf, and Scurvy Pirate Hog.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you all for joining us and for supporting us and all that good stuff, or for not supporting us, or for subscribing on YouTube, or not subscribing on YouTube, or giving us a thumbs up on YouTube, or a thumbs down on YouTube, or a comment on YouTube. It literally does not matter whether it's positive or negative. YouTube loves it all. So that's it.
We love you.
We do. Even if you hate us. So there.
No, I'm petty like that. If you want to throw shade, I'll throw it right back.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next time. Or actually, that'll be Wednesday. We'll see you Wednesday for the standard Q&A episode of the BumbleKast.
Do we really know anybody? Do we really know Ian?
Does anybody really know what time it is?
It's any time. Time doesn't matter. Time is an amorphous blob that means nothing. Speaking of amorphous blobs that mean nothing, let's get back into some more questions. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
It's like one or two oddly aggressive questions this time.
Yes, they're mad. People are getting mad.
Okay.
They're getting angry. Like, damn it, Ian. Answer the goddamn questions.